Hi guys, Joanna here, and in today's video, I'll be talking about new fragrance releases that I've been testing out for quite some time now. And most of them are in decants, as you know that I love testing out fragrances to add in my own personal collection. And also I want to test these fragrances for you guys to give you my personal opinions about them. Aside from decants, I have something here that I bought as well with my own money and a PR bottle. And yeah, it's going to be a very interesting one. So without further ado, let's get this video started. Oh, and I also like to mention that all the perfumes that I'm going to talk about today have been tested on skin. And I basically wore them at least one day for a full day wear test. And if I really like them, of course, I wear them more often. And yeah, basically, I want to let you know that this is not a first impression. This is not the first time that I am smelling this perfume and giving you my opinion, as I don't do that in my channel. I feel like first impression can always change. Well, actually, even after you have a perfume for quite some time, your nose will always change. But for me personally, I need at least a full day wear test for me to understand more or less the performance and also the quality of the juice. Yeah, so just for your information. I'm gonna start off with the fragrances that are in decants, okay? And the first one is Le Papier by Diptyque. I know that this is not really a new release this year. This has been released late last year and I have it for quite some time now, but I just always forget to include this in my new release videos. So yeah, so now I'm gonna review it because this is quite hype, I must say, right? It is a very clean and powdery musky scent. Yeah, I always thought that this has a rice note. Anyway, if I get a rice note here, it is very subtle. Maybe, you know, the water that you use to boil a rice, that kind of watery texture, yes, but not an actual rice note. To me, this opens up quite peppery and musky. And then as it dries down, let's say around 20 seconds, I get the nuttiness coming from the sesame, which is nice because I love nutty scents. So I get that nuttiness with a hint of a very bright mimosa flower. So having said that, there is something that is quite lively for the first minute of this fragrance, okay? In the final dry down though, this is almost like a non-existent skin scent to me. Don't get me wrong, I actually love this kind of scent profile, like, you know, white, floral, musky, your skin but better kind of scents. But I just don't feel like this is a perfume. To me, it is like a cologne. It is a nice scent, don't get me wrong. However, I won't be spending, let's say, like 100 euros to buy something that is almost non-existing. However, though, I know that's the vibe of this fragrance, like something soft, musky, powdery skin scent. But it's just that for me personally, I won't be adding this to my collection because at this stage that I have like hundreds of bottles in my collection, I want to add something that will be different from the rest. And yeah, okay, Le Papier is different, but it is like it's different because it is non-existing. This one lasted me, let's say, maximum 2 to 3 hours. Even if I overspray, this is almost gone actually. It is nice. I enjoy the scent. It is definitely reminding me of BDK's 312 Saint Honor, but If you watch my channel, you know that I didn't like that perfume because it turns weird on my skin. Like the dry down of Saint Honor on me smells like, I don't know, like a baby vomit. It doesn't mix very well with my skin chemistry, I think. And Le Papier doesn't do that to me. This is a very tamed Saint Honor with a prominent mimosa. Yeah, so having said that, this is a no for me, even though the scent is nice. Yeah, so I already mentioned that this lasts around 2 to 3 hours with soft projection, and I think this is very feminine leaning. Le Papier by Diptyque. Next up is the newest release by Juliette Has a Gun, and this is called Ex Vetiver. And this is supposedly a masculine leaning scent, I think. But then, guys, to me, this is leaning more feminine. This is a bright and clean, citrusy, musky scent with that Ambroxan DNA of Juliette Has a Gun. It is beautiful. I actually really like this scent. To be honest, the first time I tried this, I was like, I know this scent. I have something very similar. And then I went to Fragrantica, and of course I saw Bal de Fric by Byredo. And yep, yes, it is very similar to Bal de Fric by Byredo with added Ambroxan DNA of Juliette Has a Gun. If you love Bal de Fric, you're gonna love Ex Vetiver as well. In all honesty, I don't find this more of a woody scent. To me, this is more of a citrusy, musky scent than a woody scent. So yeah, just want to let you guys know about that because I don't want you to expect like a heavy woody scent out of this fragrance. And I don't know why, I am somehow getting some white floral nuances as well, like almost like lily or freesia, and it's not listed. Actually, the notes listed are lemon, 3 types of vetiver, ambroxan, and musk. To me, it's just weird that there are 3 types of vetiver here because I don't find this woody at all. As mentioned, I find it more citrusy and musky. I will say that this is a unisex scent. However, this is definitely feminine leaning because of the white floral nuance in the background. If Bal de Fric is more citrusy and woody, I would say that Ex Vetiver is more citrusy, musky with that ambroxan that smells very diffusive and slightly powdery. If you are familiar with Juliette Has a Gun's Not a Perfume, you know that kind of ambroxan that it's kind of like diffusive, meaning like it gives you like a good scent bubble of musk and powderiness. That's how ambroxan of Juliette Has a Gun smells like to me. So that is Ex Vetiver plus the citruses. Very refreshing and cool girl kind of scent. I feel like this is a kind of scent that will actually work all year round. Yeah, I see myself wearing this all year round. And when it comes to longevity and projection, guys, this lasts for a very long time. Let's say around 6 to 8 hours on my skin, and it stays forever on clothes, I will say. Like, my clothes need to be washed after spraying Ex Vetiver, otherwise the scent just stays. Yeah, I really enjoy this scent, and just to let you guys know, amongst all the 5 decants that I have in today's list, Ex Vetiver is my favorite of them all. So yeah, that says a lot. I highly recommend you checking this one out if you are the type who uses Bal de Fric on a daily basis. I think you're gonna enjoy this because this has a better longevity. And when it comes to projection, let's say it's moderate. Once again, that is Ex Vetiver by Juliette Has a Gun. All right, next up is from Casamorati, and this is called Levar del Sole. And guys, I was so curious about this fragrance for a very long time, and I was so happy that I actually found samples in Nose Paris website. This opens up very citrusy, fruity, and green. So having said that, there is something very fresh about it. This has a very fresh burst of orange in the opening, and then as it dries down, there are some white florals popping up here and there, like violet, lily, and jasmine. And then the more it settles down on the skin, the amber and moss becomes prominent. In the final dry down, I will consider this like a fruity, mossy, and dry amber kind of scent. So having said that, this is not a resinous kind of amber. This is the light type of amber that I think is quite prominent in a lot of designer fragrances. This has a type of amber that gave this fragrance some depth. Because as mentioned, this opens up a little bit fruity and floral. That amber and moss played like a big role in this fragrance, in my opinion. I really like this scent, I must say. It is quite unusual to me to smell something that is citrusy, ambery, and mossy at the same time. So yeah, this is quite an unusual scent. So yeah, because of that, I like it. I like it a lot. This to me smells like watching sunset in Santorini. Yeah, that is the vibe of this fragrance. You know, you're watching sunset in Santorini and you're having a cocktail in one of those cute little balconies. Really, really nice. I feel like the moss in here reminds me a lot of UNE Nomade Absolu de Parfum. Okay, they are not dupes at all, okay? But if you love that type of moss in UNE Absolu de Parfum, check this one out because they share that kind of moss. And Levar del Sole is something that has more depth because of the amber, the fruits, and the white florals that are in here. A very beautiful scent, I will say. And this is something that has a big possibility to be on my wish list. It is a great release in my opinion, and I really like it. When it comes to longevity and projection, I will say that yes, it has a good longevity, let's say around 6 to 8 hours on skin, and it stays longer on clothes. So yeah, having said that, solid release, I must say. And I find this fragrance unisex. Once again, that is Levar del Sole, a citrusy, amber, and mossy scent that I think can actually fit all year round. Next up is the newest release of Maison Francis Kurkdijan, and this is called A Part of Me. And I was so excited to try this fragrance because I had the feeling that I will like this scent. And all right, let me tell you what I think of it. This is definitely a floral scent with heavy and powdery musk and like sprinkle of lavender, let's say. It starts off with fresh and natural orange blossoms. Seems like, you know, those that are newly picked and somehow left on a basket under a cotton tree. So imagine inhaling those orange blossom with that cloudy feel from the cotton tree. Yeah, that's how this opens up. It is a beautiful scent and it is somehow dreamy, I must say. This fragrance is full of depth, in my opinion, to the point that the name, A Part of Me, I think is perfect because there's something that feels very personal about this fragrance. If you watch my channel, you know that I'm not really a fan of floral perfumes. However, I noticed that I am slowly enjoying orange blossom scents. I love orange blossom scents that are bright and citrusy, and I will say that the orange blossom that is in here is more of the classic orange blossom. So having said that, it is quite heady, indolic, because at the same time it is powdery. It is a kind of fragrance that takes me back to the 1960s. You know, those fashionable women in 1960s. I feel like this will be their kind of scent. Something very floral, powdery, and vintagey. This is such a classy scent that I appreciate so much. However, it is not my style. It is not my vibe. I just feel like it is too vintage for me to use. It is a classy and timeless white floral and powdery scent. You know what? Aside from the vintage scent of the 60s, this reminds me as well so much of hotel lobbies in Dubai. And I'm talking about, you know, those fancy residential hotel lobbies in Dubai. This is it. This is how those hotel lobbies smell like. A beautiful scent, very feminine and floral. So I think if you love feminine, floral kind of scent, you might enjoy this one. For me, this is a pass, but it doesn't mean that it's not good, because the quality is there. And performance, I feel like it is quite strong for the first hour until it becomes moderate to soft. It is not a beast mode, but I feel like it is something that leaves a trail. I never received any compliments when I wore this. However, I know that it is a kind of fragrance that is leaving a trail because I can smell the whiffs that is in the air. That is my thought about a part of me. This is definitely a feminine leaning scent. Great release, and I highly recommend it for all vintage perfume lovers out there. Next up is called Indian Leather by Memo Paris, and this is also their newest release. And guys, to be honest, when I saw the name Indian Leather, I was expecting this to be a very spicy scent. You know, the Indian spices kind of scent. And I would say that the opening of this is very spicy. And what I mean by spicy is, you know, the spices that you use in cooking, like cumin, coriander. So having said that, it is kind of off-putting. However, guys, as this dries down, the animalic oud, styrax, earthy patchouli, and sweet vanilla balance out everything. And in the end, it is actually a beautiful scent. I must say that on skin, it turns out to be sweeter than on paper, because now all I can smell is spiciness and bitterness. But I remember that on my skin, and also because I took down notes, there is something sweet that I don't know where is coming from, that balances out the animalic oud, the spices, and the very earthy patchouli that are in here. There is some powdery touches coming from the rose as well. So imagine a powdery rose, slightly animalic oud, and an earthy patchouli combo with some spices in the background. And then you're gonna get Indian Leather. In the beginning, I thought that this fragrance will be a beast mode, actually. However, it is not. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't last long as well. Let's say it's moderate, which I think is good because it is not that overpowering. It is a very wearable rose oud patchouli combo. However, it is too earthy and spicy for my taste. I feel like I will need a very, or let's say like a sweeter vanilla to balance this out. A very good release though. I think they depicted that Indian leather scent that they are trying to achieve. Longevity and projection are moderate, and even though it is a unisex scent, I feel like this is slightly leaning more masculine. But then if you're gonna ask me if I will wear this fragrance, yes, I will. Having said that, it is a unisex fragrance. Yeah, so that's my thought about Indian Leather by Memo Paris. So those are the 5 decants, and just want to wrap it up. I think I will buy Ex Vetiver. Not now, but maybe next year, because my wish list for this year is full already. Actually, I love it a lot that if I don't have Bal de Freak, I think I would have bought it. And I'm gonna think about Levar del Sole. So yeah, those two are my favorites from those 5 decants. So now I'm gonna talk about a fragrance that has been sent to me by PR, and this is Iris Cartagena, and this is from Bon Parfumeur, and this is an extrait de parfum. And what can I say? When I saw the name Iris, of course, I love Iris, and Cartagena, my favorite destination in Colombia, of course, I needed to get my nose on this one. And if you follow me in Instagram, you know that I featured this in my feed, and you know already how much I love this one. By the way, if you're not following me in Instagram, I urge you to follow me because I give my first impression normally in Instagram. So all the new releases that I'm getting and receiving, I post my initial impressions first in Instagram. Yeah. Anyway, let's go back to Iris Cartagena. This opens up very green and bitter. The Petit Grain is definitely the most prominent, let's say, for the first 5-10 minutes, along with that bitter cacao and also coffee. Coffee and cacao combo is to die for. Any chocolate, cacao, and coffee combo is kind of like my kryptonite. It smells very addictive to me, especially the dry down. Even though this has a vegetal iris along with that very green petit grain, as it dries down, the iris in here seems to be powdery and a little bit buttery, and mixed with the creamy sandalwood and vanilla. Guys, this is so beautiful. I will consider this fragrance as a gourmandish kind of scent. Not a full-on gourmand, let's say, something gourmand but perfumey at the same time. I love that it has a sugary kind of sweetness as it balanced out the bitterness of the coffee and the cacao that are in here. It has some booziness as well coming from the rum. So imagine like an iced coffee latte with loads of cacao powder on top, a drop of rum because you're a naughty one, and at the same time, you are walking in a field full of petit grain. This is a kind of fragrance that has different layers in it. So having said that, it is very niche and also very unique, guys. This to me has a standout coffee, cacao, and vegetal / powdery iris sweetened with sugarcane kind of scent. A beautiful unisex scent that I think is perfect this fall season. I find this fragrance unisex, like, you know, something just right in the middle. And I think if you enjoy scents like Intoxicated by Kilian, they're not dupes at all, okay? However, they share the kind of vibes. I find this fragrance sexy, and I find Intoxicated very sexy because of the coffee note. They have like that type of coffee. Iris Cartagena is not a spicy kind of coffee, but instead sweeter and a little bit greener. Beautiful scent. I highly recommend you guys checking it out. Longevity and projection, I will say, is above average. This lasts only more than 8 hours. Yeah, I think it is because it's an extra de parfum. And projection, let's say first 2 hours is strong until it becomes moderate. I highly recommend it if you are like me, who is into gourmandish kind of perfumes that are also perfumey, and if you love chocolate and coffees in your fragrances. I think you're gonna love this one because I find this fragrance quite unique. Once again, that is Iris Cartagena by Bon Parfumeur. All right, last but not the least is something that I bought and I've been testing this baby out, let's say for around 2 weeks now. And this is called Azzure Aoud by French Avenue. Guys, I'm so happy that I found it here in Europe before it sold out. This is my kind of fruity oud. It has a very prominent, juicy passion fruit in the opening and also a synthetic saffron, okay? However, as it dries down, slightly animalic oud and leather picks through, along with a resinous amber and vanilla. If you still do know, this is a dupe of Maison Crivelli's Oud Maracuja, and I love that scent so much. So when I heard that this is duping Oud Maracuja, I know that I needed to give it a try. And what can I say? Yes, they do smell alike. They both have that prominent passion fruit, leather, oud, and amber. However, I will say that even though they are extremely similar, I can detect that Azzure Aoud is more of like a synthetic version of Oud Maracuja, and also I find Oud Maracuja older and smoother. However, it doesn't mean that this bad boy is not performing at all. It is a very good dupe of Oud Maracuja. And to be honest, I feel like if you are not really sensitive to notes, you might even think that they are extremely similar. But to me, I can pick up like the difference, especially when it comes to the thickness and the smoothness of this fragrance. But nevertheless, I love this scent to the point that I wouldn't mind having this instead of Oud Maracuja in my collection, because Oud Maracuja has been on my wish list for a very long time, and actually I told myself that I should own a bottle of that by the end of the year. And since I've got Azzure Aoud, I crossed out Oud Maracuja on my wish list because they are identical enough to the point that it will be redundant to own both. And even though I mentioned that I notice their differences, I will still say that this fragrance is of high quality and a solid dupe of Oud Maracuja. Like, this is something that will scratch the itch And it is a kind of dupe that I will recommend. If you watch my channel, you know that I don't recommend all the dupes that are coming out from the Middle Eastern market. I feel like as this macerates, this will somehow be exactly like Oud Maracuja. I can tell that already, having my experience with Middle Eastern perfumes. So yeah, solid dupe, a solid release from French Avenue. Once again, I love this fragrance. If you love fruity oud, leather, and amber scent, and I'm talking about like fruity passion fruit, okay, and something dark like resinous amber, oud, and leather in your fragrances, I highly recommend you Azzure Aoud. Longevity and projection are amazing. You need to wash your clothes to remove this scent, and it projects like a beast. You don't need to spray a lot, in my opinion. And if you spray a lot, yeah, you will definitely feel that it is a beast mode fragrance because you'll be kind of overwhelmed. So yeah, having said that, I don't think that this is a kind of scent that you need to overspray. However, like, you know, of course, there will always be like those people who just loves to overspray. To me, I feel like 4 to 6 sprays of this and I'm good. I prefer this more than liquid brown. Okay, I know there's a lot of you who loves liquid brown, but I think it is the scent that is just not for me. I'm thinking of decluttering that as well, actually. And if you are keen of buying it, just message me on Instagram. Anyway, going back to Azzure Aoud, love this one. One of my favorite Middle Eastern blind buys this year. Yeah, once again, Azzure Aoud by French Avenue. And this is a unisex fragrance, however, leaning more masculine. This is a kind of scent that will only fit a woman if you are the type of woman who loves wearing unisex scents, okay? If you are not into unisex scents, then this might be too masculine for you. Alright, so that is the video for today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed my honest opinion and thoughts about these fragrances. I want to know if you've tried any of these perfumes and let me know in the comments down below what you think of them. I have compiled here a video of all my perfume reviews of new fragrance releases this year. So in case you want to check it out, please do. Yeah, once again, thank you all so much for watching and see you on my next one. Bye!